We recognize the face instantly. The expressive eyes and the famously wild hair have become the global shorthand for genius. But the actual life was defined by jarring contradictions. He was a stateless refugee who advised presidents, a lifelong pacifist who helped trigger the atomic age, and a pioneer of modern physics who ended his career as its loudest critic. Behind every move was one singular obsession: the unified field theory. He wanted to find one elegant equation that could explain how every force in nature works together. He spent his life trying to find a mathematical harmony that could withstand the violent, unpredictable reality of the 20th century. In his mind, solving the laws of the stars was the only way to make sense of the brutal chaos he saw here on Earth. This search for order began in a quiet patent office in Bern, Switzerland. Working as an outsider, far from the prestigious universities, Einstein spent his days evaluating mechanical inventions and his nights rethinking the nature of reality. This grid represents his general theory of relativity. He proved that gravity isn't a mysterious force pulling objects together, but a smooth, predictable warping of space and time. To Einstein, the universe was a masterpiece of geometry. But while the stars followed his precise laws, human society was fracturing. By the early 1930s, the rise of the Nazi Party transformed his home in Germany into a place of state-sponsored madness. The regime burned his books in public squares and put a bounty on his head. They declared his science Jewish intellectualism and stripped him of his positions and his home. After fleeing to America, Einstein faced a devastating choice. Realizing that pacifism could not stop a fascist regime, he signed the letter to President Roosevelt that launched the Manhattan Project. In 1945, the mathematical equivalence of mass and energy was demonstrated over Japan. Einstein spent the rest of his life mourning this decision, calling it his one great mistake. The cosmic harmony he discovered in the patent office had been weaponized for human destruction, and his ideal of a peaceful world was gone. He tried to rebuild his life in the academic community of Princeton, New Jersey. But Einstein refused to stay silent while his new home practiced its own forms of persecution. He saw an immediate, chilling link between the treatment of Jews in Europe and the treatment of Black Americans in the Jim Crow era. He joined the NAACP and used his global platform to attack American racism, calling it the nation's worst disease. When the government targeted W.E.B. Du Bois, Einstein used his reputation as a shield, offering to testify in court as a character witness for the civil rights leader. He spent his American years fighting for a social order that matched the logic of his physics, a world where the laws of justice were as absolute and universal as the laws of gravity. Even as he fought for social order, a new scientific movement was threatening to destroy his vision of a predictable universe. Niels Bohr led the charge for quantum mechanics, arguing that at the microscopic level, the universe operates on pure probability. The two men battled over reality's nature. On the left, Einstein's path is smooth and certain. On the right, Bohr's particles jump erratically with no fixed trajectory. Einstein rejected this chaos, insisting that God does not play dice. He couldn't accept a universe built on luck. He spent his final decades in scientific isolation, working alone at the Institute for Advanced Study. He was still hunting for that one unifying equation that would prove the universe was rational. When he died in 1955, his chalkboard was still covered in unfinished math. He never found the answer he was looking for. Einstein showed that a scientist's work doesn't end with the laws of physics. His life proves that genius is not measured by the equations one solves, but by the responsibility one takes for the world those equations create.